Hi folks, it's Barry Young from Whitestone Wealth Management, and this is my August 2014 Educational Economic Update. In this month's video, we'll be discussing some of the important events that affected markets last month to give you some insight into what they might mean for you as an investor. So please stay tuned at the end for that great required disclosure statement. So August was an overall pretty good month for the economy, and investors got their second look at second quarter gross domestic product numbers, and are starting to think about what the rest of the year might look like economically. Now, after a long cold winter that caused economic activity to stagnate, the economy came roaring back in the second quarter. And the latest estimate shows that the U.S. economy grew by 4.2% in the second quarter. And that's the fastest pace of growth since the third quarter of 2013. Now, even better, the growth was spread across many sectors of the economy, indicating this might not be a one-time deal. After many quarters of sluggish growth, the economy might be finally moving into self-sustaining expansion, as growth in one area feeds improvements elsewhere. Now, expansion in the labor market's feeding the consumer confidence, which is translating into greater consumer spending, which will hopefully continue to stoke economic growth. Now, one place in which consumer spending has been visible is in the retail sector. And though second quarter earnings were pretty lackluster for most retailers, the back-to-school period was a bright spot, hopefully portending greater consumer spending this quarter. And since back-to-school season is the second largest shopping period for retailers, can often act as a bellwether for a very important holiday shopping season. Now, despite the fantastic GDP numbers, the news last month wasn't all that great, and personal spending growth was unexpectedly declining in July, indicating that consumption was weak at the beginning of the third quarter. Since consumer spending accounts for about 70% of economic activity in the U.S., a decline in personal spending could be a sign that Americans are cutting back on their expenses. However, the same report showed that household income grew during the same period, which could mean that Americans are simply saving more instead of spending money. On the other hand, consumer sentiment rose significantly in August as Americans cheered up and regained their optimism about the economy. One measure of current expectations reached its highest level since before the most recent recession. So if consumer sentiment is up and personal spending is down, what does that mean for the economy going forward? It's hard to say without more data, but we can say that the underlying trends point to sustained economic growth and improvements across the economy. So looking ahead, we expect the same situation in Ukraine to affect markets as investors worry about how deteriorating security and continuing sanctions will affect global markets. Although the U.S. economy does not appear to be affected by Russian sanctions, Europe's fragile economy is less able to withstand negative shocks, and we'll know more next month. So that's it for the August Educational Economic Update. If you have any questions or concerns, please give me a call. Again, this is Barry Young with Whitestone Wealth Management signing off for the month of August. Phone number here 954-491-1718. Be happy to answer any personal questions that you might have. So, the required disclosure that I have to read that everybody loves to hear. While we believe the information in this report is reliable, we cannot guarantee its accuracy. Opinions expressed are subject to change without notice and are not intended as investment advice or solicitation for the purchase or sale of any security. Please consult your financial professional before making any investment decisions. Thank you again.